Welcome back to a brand new episode of Mastering Programming. In today's episode, I'll show you exactly how to create this very cool application which allows you to click on that headphone.
I love you, 2 hearts, red heart, face blowing a kiss.
And as you can see, it will read exactly what you have inside of your text field. Now, obviously, you can say something else like I hate you, and if you go ahead and click on the headphones,
I hate you,
it will read it out for you. I'll show you exactly how to create this application. It can read emojis, different languages, normal text, and much more in just a few minutes. Make sure you click that subscribe button before moving on, and I'll see you after the intro. Welcome back, guys. So as you can see, I have an empty project here, and to start, the first thing we need to do is first import the AV Foundation library. Now I'll simply say AV Foundation to start using it. After that, we're going to be creating a variable of state, and this will be to say, and we'll just give it an empty string. After that, as you saw, we had a title, we had a text editor, and then we had a button. So let's go ahead and start creating that. The first thing we need to do is obviously remove our text hello world, and we're going to add a VStack. Let's go ahead and open our canvas. I don't actually use the canvas, it never even loads, but I just like it so I can access the code snippets, and we can very easily say text. We're going to be adding a text. We are also going to be adding a text editor, and finally we are going to be using a button. So let's go ahead and drag a button just like this. Beautiful. Now we can close our canvas, and we can start by putting our title. So inside of our text, we are going to be putting text reader. I think I called it something else in the demo, but let's move on. For our text here, for our text editor, we simply want to save everything that gets put inside of the text editor inside of that to say variable. So I will simply use a $sign to bind it and then say to say. For my action, what I will do is I'll remove this placeholder and I'll open and close a zigzaggy bracket. And for the content, what we need is just that image that you saw. So we're going to say image, which is the headphones, and we're going to say system name, and over here we're just going to be passing headphones. Beautiful. Now inside of here we're going to be calling the action that we want in order to actually start speaking the sentence, and what I will do is I will say speak. Now obviously I'm calling a function here that we still did not create, so let's go ahead and create it. Let's go ahead and type in func speak, open and close a bracket, and then open and close a zigzaggy bracket. Inside of the speak, that's where we're going to do all of our magic. So we're going to start by first creating a variable called voice, and it's going to be a constant. We're going to say AV speech, and it's going to be I don't know how to pronounce that, but synthesized voice, and pretty much we are saying what language we're going to be using. So for here, I want it to be English, so I'll just be saying EN and then AU. Nice. And now Siri is going to speak in English. After that, we are going to say let to say. Make sure you have a small t here, because we already used a to say with a capital T. And we're just going to say it's equal to AV speech, and we're going to say utterness. I definitely pronounced that wrong. And then we're going to pick the string, and we're going to be passing the to say that we just wrote something to, hopefully. So I'm going to remove this, and I'll say to say, just like this. What we then need to do is we need to mention that to say, and then I'm going to say dot, and we are going to say voice, and we're going to say that the voice is going to be equal to that voice that we created at the top. Now something here that you probably noticed, we could have just copied this and wrote it here, but I like doing it that way so it can be cleaner, and maybe you would like to use this again, so instead of writing the whole thing you can just refer back to it. After that, what we're going to say is we're going to create another variable, and it's going to be called SPK, short for speak. We're going to say AV speech, and this one's going to be synthesizer. I have no idea how to pronounce this stuff. And then we're going to say spk.speak, and we're going to say to say. Nice. And believe it or not, we actually finished the main functionality. If I go ahead and run this right now, you realize that we have all our components. Now you might be wondering, where is the text field? And the text field is actually over here, but because we still didn't fix up the UI, it looks pretty bad. So let's just go put anything, and if we go ahead and click on this button,
FHSDJKFHJKSFH.
as you can see, Siri does read exactly what we put in. So let's go back to our file and make sure that things look presentable. Let's go to our text, and we're going to start by giving this a proper font of a large title, and let's make it bold. Nice. For our text editor, let's give it a frame to make it shorter, and we will remove the width. We want it to take whatever width it's going to take. For the height, let's give it a 60. We don't need an alignment just for this application. What we do need is we need to add a border, and we're going to give it color.black. And obviously we need to spell it correctly, so color, and as you can see, we no longer have that issue. Now something else that we need to do is we need to add a spacer between our text editor and our image or our button, just so that it's not completely right next to each other. And after the spacer, we're going to go to our image, and we're going to say font, and we want it to be large headphones, so we're going to say large title. Let's make it a different color than blue this time, and I'm going to say foreground color, and let's give it color red, for example. Let's go ahead and run this application and see if it will work exactly as expected. Okay, beautiful. So it looks exactly like this. Maybe one last thing we can do is we can add padding to our VStack to fix everything, and I'll simply type in padding, and let's go ahead and move back now. Okay, nice. And as you can see, we now have a large title, we have our button over here, and we have our text field. Let's go ahead and try writing anything. Maybe let's add some emojis right now. Monkey, I love you, please subscribe to me. Let's go ahead and click on the button.
Smiling face with sunglasses. Smiling face with sunglasses. Monkey covering eyes. I love you, please subscribe to me.
And there you go, you now have an app that reads text exactly as you put it in, or exactly as your user puts it in. If you enjoyed this tutorial, if you learned something new, please make sure you subscribe to this channel, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know how I can improve. Without further ado, have a good day.